Welcome back, everybody, to Neutrality Studies. Today, for the first time, with Gerald Celente, an American trend forecaster and publisher of the Trends Journal. Gerald, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for saying yes to this. And you've been somebody who's been working for all your life with markets and with trends of where things are going. And I would really wanted to pick your brain about what you think especially the Iran war is doing to the markets. And as we speak today on your morning, June 19th, how are the markets reacting to the memorandum of understanding that the US and Iran just did yesterday?
Very positive. And again, tracking trends is the understanding of where we are, how we got here to see where we're going. You go back before the Iran war, you saw the equity markets in the United States going down because of the fear of the private equity groups and the people wanting to pull their money out because AI is wiping out a lot of the smaller software and a lot of software companies. And people wanted to get their money out. Things were going terrible before that happened. And the war happened and things changed. And again, we only go by the facts. We're political atheists, by the way. We don't take sides on anything. And you look at things for the way they are, not the way you want them to be. So you go back and, again, by the facts. Trump said on March 1st, that the war's going to end in 4 or 5 weeks. And then on March 11th, he said, we won. I don't like to say we won too early, but we won. But they didn't win. But every time I'm mentioning this, the same thing with this guy who is the energy secretary, Chris Wright, or I call him Chris Wrong. He kept BS. They BS'd about the United States sending naval ships through the Straits of Hormuz to bring tankers through. It wasn't true at all. I'm mentioning this because it manipulates the markets.
Yeah.
And that's what you have going on now is market manipulation. And then you have to look at the facts. You have 3 companies, State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock. Google it up. They own in value about 88% of the S&P 500. All right, 3 companies. Then you look at the data. 1% in America owns 54% of the stock markets. 1%. Then you put the 10% into it, it's 93%. So you have a rigged market. They're going to do everything they can to keep propping these things up. Once upon a time, there was this Italian guy by the name of Mussolini. The merger of state and corporate powers is fascism. And that's what you have. You look at now how Trump is buying up parts of companies like Intel. Oh, did you see Intel stock just went up? Oh, yeah, we just did a deal with them. One after another. The company after company, they're merging, and the corporations own the country. It's as simple as that. So there's no reality in the markets.
How long before this collapses? How long before something really big happens that's going to lead to actual, to people on the streets?
It won't become a reality until the equity markets crash. That's when it becomes a reality.
When and for what reason will that happen? Like the AI bubble bursting?
Yeah. When the markets crash, then it becomes a reality. It doesn't become a reality until then.
The last time the markets crashed badly in 2008, what we've seen is mass bailouts of the very people who did that, whose crimes this was. The whole ninja idea and the splitting up of all of these debt obligations. I mean, all of these crappy ideas. But everybody who was involved in that got bailed out, and that's kind of what this capitalist system does. Don't you think that it will just be the same of that one, another $1 trillion down the money drain?
It's not the capitalist system. It's a fascist system. According to Levy Institute at Bard College, the Federal Reserve bailed out the banksters that caused this thing $29 trillion.
Oh my God.
29 trillion. And by the way, the guy at Levy Institute at Bard College, the guy's name was Botstein. That was one of the Epstein guys. Mm-hmm. They just got rid of him. Anyway, going back to it, yes, they're going to do everything they can to come up with more cheap money backed by nothing and printed on nothing. The real debt in America is not $40 trillion. It's more like $120 trillion when you put in Social Security and all the other, and you don't have to believe me, even Fortune magazine talks about it. So they're going to, now the importance of this is that the more they do this, the greater the beginning of the death of the dollar. Much of the world has had enough of the United States geopolitical and financial hegemony. BRICS and everybody else. It's going to be the death of the dollar. That means that the deeper the dollar goes, the higher precious metal prices are going to spike. That's what we see happening. So yes, they're going to bail it out, quantitative easing. Who made up this crap? Again, I had forecast the trends. We took out the domain name, the Panic of 08 in 2007. The Trends Journal is right there. We call the dot-com bust in autumn of 1999. Said it bust by the second quarter 2000. I thought things would crash again in 2012. They didn't teach me about quantitative easing in Economics 101 at graduate school.
Mm-hmm.
They'll make up any crap they want.
I mean, to keep it stable, that's the kind of the job of the Fed, right? But the underlying system, if that one is rotten, at some point there's going to be an end even to what the Fed can do. And exactly. I think if I understand you correctly, then you're saying that that point is near.
Yes. And it'll be worthless. Be worthless.
How
we are heading, this is not going to be the Great Depression. It's going to be the greatest depression, and it's worldwide. Oh, did you see the data that just came out of the UK? Oh, they had a negative GDP in the last quarter. Oh, how about the Eurozone? Oh, yeah, they just had a negative GDP, didn't they?
Mm.
This isn't going to be, it's not going to be stagflation. It's going to be dragflation. Economies are going to be dragged down, and inflation is going to go up.
So do you read the war in Ukraine and the Ukraine-Russia war and the Iran war? Do you read them under this in this context? Are they a distraction, or are they an attempt, especially the Iran war, at turning things around and saving the petrodollar or something?
If this Iran, by the way, as we just went on the air, they say that Hezbollah and Israel have agreed to a ceasefire.
Yeah. But usually a ceasefire for Israel means the other one stops shooting while you keep killing them. So, yeah. But yeah, that one aside, yeah.
So, yeah, one of my books, Trend Tracking, well better than Megatrends Time magazine. I say how I became a trend forecaster when the Iran conflict broke out in the late 1970s. 99.99, this is when I became a political atheist. Jimmy Carter, another clown boy who gave us Mujahideen. Yeah, we got to stop those Russians from taking out the Taliban. Oh, gave us Osama bin Laden. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, the guy that deregulated the airline industry when there were hundreds of airlines and now 4 run the whole thing. Oh, the Jimmy Carter who made the beginning of interstate banking when banks were only intrastate, when Bank of America was only in California. Yeah, and the big, that little slime ball. And Brzezinski, may he rot in hell, that murderous slime ball. Jimmy Carter comes back from Iran, spending New Year's Eve with the Shah and his wife. Gets off the helicopter, all the little boys in their costumes salute. And Carter says, right here, the Shah is the island of stability in the Middle East. And the Bronx used to say, bullshit has its own sound. I said, this thing's going down. I started playing the gold and oil futures markets. I put $5,000 bet into each one. And by 1980, I brought it up to almost $750,000. Again, I was a young guy, lost most of it too. But here's what happened. 99.99% of the people had no idea how the United States and the UK overthrew the democratically elected government of Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran in 1953.
Yeah.
Because Mossadegh had the goal to say, hey, that oil does not belong to Anglo-Iranian oil, better known today as BP, or Standard Oil, better known today as ExxonMobil. It belongs to the Iranian people. No, it doesn't. That little slime ball, may he rot in hell, a fat, ugly cigar-smoking slob, Winston Churchill, who gave us World War I and World War II, they didn't release the telegrams until middle of 2000 between him and Kermit Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt's great-grandson, that the United States and the UK have to overthrow the government. It's there in telegrams.
Yeah.
So when the revolution happened, I knew it was real. Now, going back to the war, I've been writing since then. If the United States goes to war against Iran, there's no way in the world that they'll win. They're very advanced. These are the Persians. They're advanced scientifically, technologically, and militarily. And to make it 1,000% clear, you got that head shit guy spewing out his crap. Hey, we got the toughest military in the world. You haven't won a war since World War II. And you wouldn't have won that one without the Russians. And you couldn't beat the Vietnamese. You only killed 3.5 million of them. And killed about 250,000 American boys and millions poisoned with Agent Orange. You couldn't beat the Iraqis. And you swallowed the crap spewing out of the mouth of that little nobody, little Georgie Bush, another spoiled daddy's boy. We're going to get that guy Osama bin Laden dead or alive. 92% of the people supported the Afghan war, the longest war in American history, and you couldn't win that one. What makes you think you're going to win the Iran war? Now, my fear is they're going to go nuclear.
So you don't trust what just came out. This is not going to be the escalation. This is just a short pause button in order to rally the markets, in order to cash in, and then right back to it. I mean, or right now is the moment to buy all the stocks and everything you want, and then hit the button and prices go up and cash in. Is that going to be it?
That's it. Game. Again, you know the Samson option.
Yeah,
Israel's Samson option. They say if they lose, they go nuclear. Mm-hmm. You're saying it. It's there. I'm not making it up. And Netanyahu's going to do everything he can. The elections are coming up in October to stay in office. The longest running prime minister of Israel. Oh, by the way, his son's in Miami. I forgot. He ain't out there fighting, right? Yeah.
No. I mean, fighting is for the peasant class, right? That's it. You said to die. I mean, you are a very passionate thinker. Is there anything that you would like to share with my audience that you think we haven't touched upon, that you think is still important to understand where we are at?
Yeah, the other thing is important too, is you're seeing the Ukraine war ramping up. Mm-hmm. They're bombing Moscow. And by the way, in your Trends Journal, back in, you see how happy this guy is? It's the United States overthrow of the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in Ukraine in 2014, which the people have no idea about. I'm concerned that these wars are going to ramp up.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it ramping up already. And I'm concerned that there's going to be like an attack on a nuclear plant or something like that. And again, nuclear weapons being used. We need peace. And so my great concerns are that there's not going to be a peace deal in the Iran war. Israel's going to do everything it can to keep ramping it up. And I'm concerned about not having a peace deal in Ukraine because Europe is giving them more and more money for drones and to keep the war going. So those are my concerns.
I was in Russia just last week, and I tell you, the Russians are angry. The Russians are very angry for all the kind of escalation that is happening. And they are thinking very seriously about what to do. And they are listening very seriously to the Europeans when they talk about splitting up Russia, when they talk about carrying the war into Moscow. And just today, there's another New York Times article saying like, oh, the Ukrainians and the Europeans are very proud of carrying the war into Moscow. Well, guess what? Guess what they are going to do? They are not going to give up. And they're going to blame it again on the same failed policy. So I don't know. I mean, it's very, very dangerous. It's extremely dangerous right now.
Very dangerous. World War III's already begun. Something's going to make it official. Again, you look back and if Napoleon left Poland with what is it, 240,000 men and came back with 10,000 when he attacked Moscow. If the Germans couldn't beat them, what makes you think anybody else is going to beat them? It's ridiculous.
It won't, but it will kill a lot of people. It will.
I know.
A lot of.
Oh, they only killed what? How many millions? What, by 25 million in World War II?
27 million Soviet citizens.
Yeah.
7 million out of them in the military, 20 million civilians. And guess what? They remember. The Russians remember.
Of course. And again,
So,
they were
and for some reasons, the Germans think this time they're on the good side of history. And I don't know how you could ever believe that that can be true. I'm sorry. It's a ridiculous situation. Why is it that we are not able to build why is it that that it's possible to have a military-industrial complex? Why is it not possible to have a peace-industrial complex? You know, because a lot of people win from peace. A lot, like a vast majority of people have a lot to win from peace. But we can't make systematically squeeze money out of that, because if you could, then we would go that route.
I'm telling you, if the billionaires gave money, I don't think I'm going to be doing Occupy Peace anymore. When I have the rallies, comes out of my pocket about 30,000 just for security and the equipment, the filming equipment, and plus. And I had one last year. I had Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Joe Laurie, or Roger Waters, their live podcast. I had top people here.
That's very
maybe 150 people showed up. It was an old age home. So I don't know, you can't do it without the support. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, but that's my question. How do we monetize peace rallies? How do we squeeze money out of peace? Because if that was possible, then the markets would take care of it. So we haven't found
again the billionaires. Again, I just told you, Peter Buffett never gave me a penny for peace. I'm the landlord.
Yeah,
and I'm blessed that my daddy didn't give me any money. They gave me everything who I am. These are a bunch of little spoiled daddy's boys with bad attitudes.
Good, Gerald. Thank you for your very passionate speech, and I hope I can reach out to you again when I have questions.
I'd love to.
About this.
Oh, thank you so much for what you're doing and the knowledge that you have and the things that you say. You know, you're a rare cat, man. People don't know what you know and say what you say. Again, once upon a time, I used to be on Oprah, the Today Show, Good Morning America, everybody. I got blacklisted from everybody because I came out against the wars.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's because people like you that I still have hope in humanity. And actually all the people who listen to us. Like, we are a community, and all we need to do is to win over the warmongers. And what they try to do is to divide us amongst left and right and rich and poor and whatnot. And what we need to do is to do away with them and not with each other. So thank you also for your work.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
大家好，我是主播周玉琴。很多的朋友告诉我们，选择原版的太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，它添加有羽衣甘蓝，健康再加分。而有睡眠困扰的朋友们，赶快选择蓝色包装这一款晚安加强版，绝对是更有感。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel Good， 请上快点购为健康下单，而且要记得输入推荐代码，有额外的折扣优惠。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌基础版、晚安加强版，新包装改版，内容不变，抽取更方便。要吃就吃最好的。